Are we?
Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited with another edition of the Pro Wrestling Unlimited podcast right here on YouTube. Nick, what's going on?
Oh, baby, a triple. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. We've already got Kate. Oh, I thought this was Kate Allison. It's Caitlin Allison, different name. Luke Controller, Diana Argonon. That literally every time Diana comes into the fucking screen, she doesn't say anything, but in all caps she just says, "Hey, Tim and Nick." I love the enthusiasm. Jessica Streech is here. Whose birthday is it today? She'll let us know in a second. Asteroid Nukes is Nick is the GOAT. You're goddamn right. We're gonna be talking about.
So if you're the GOAT, does that make me the donkey?
Now that makes you more of like, so like if I'm Chris Jericho, you're like.
I'm not Kevin Owens.
No, God no.
I mean, I've got a similar beard.
You think you're my friend? That's weird. I'm kidding.
Hey, we learned in the end they weren't friends.
That's very true. But he says Nick is the GOAT, which is funny because we're going to be talking about the GOATs of pro wrestling and who we classify as the GOATs in their respective categories. Because I feel like when you're talking about the GOATs of pro wrestling, it's really unfair to just name one. Because there's so many aspects of pro wrestling. You've got talkers, you've got performers, you've got storytellers, you've got managers, you've got guys with huge dongs. So what James
Big Hog, Hangman Page.
Big Hog, Hangman. So, you know, we got a lot to talk about there. We're going to be talking some memeing stuff as well. I don't know. We never really have any. So literally, Tim goes, "What are we talking about this week?" And I go, "I don't fucking know. Let's wing it." And he's like,
"We got some news we can hit on."
New schmooze. Oh God, more like the Sami Zayn.
All right, so if you guys do, I mean, I do know the call number is on the screen. It's not working again because the new kind of Skype is all jacked up. But if you do want to text into the show, 510-906-1341. Again, the text message line is on the screen, 510-906-1341. See if we get any more pictures of Nick tonight.
Stop. Don't fucking encourage them. Don't encourage it.
My bad.
I don't know who sent that photo in. There were two photos that I tweeted, but someone had saved it and then sent it to our text line. Just don't do that. Just don't do that.
Should I show it?
The text or just the photo?
The photoshopped photo.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. Anyway, we got 4 of them today since Jessica Street. We got Mike Chioda, Devon Dudley, Bunkhouse Bunk, and Yoshi Tatsu. Who the fuck is Bunkhouse?
Brickhouse Brown, who just passed away.
I have no idea, but Nicholas, you raised a really good question. He says, actually answer questions from Discord. We are. That's why. How'd you guys send them in? So let's start it off with answering some rapid fire pew 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 questions from, oh my God, we're getting text messages up the butt, but
we got 3.
They all came in very quickly. So we're going to look at the Discord here with questions. Tim, in your opinion.
Wait. Okay, you do that, and then I have a thing I got to talk about. Go for it.
Well, do you want to talk about your thing first?
Well,
it's a pretty long-winded question.
Yeah, I'll go first. All right.
Okay. So
I forgot to mention, back on July 19th, it was actually Nick's 1-year anniversary with PWUnlimited when he posted his first ever Nick's Hot Take video. And it was... What? Huh?
What's it about again?
Do you remember?
Hold on. My first ever hot take. Was it about... I'm going to go with... Oh, God.
Do you remember?
It's not NXT because that was more recent. Kayfabe?
Yep. Is Kayfabe really dead? Was your first one?
Talked about Kayfabe. It's been a year.
It's been a little over about a year and a week.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Year and 10, 12 days.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I really want to go to the text line because we've got some weird fucking text
Well, I got one more I need to say. I need to thank everybody because today is our 3-year anniversary on YouTube from our first video posted August 1st, 2015. So, I mean, I just got to say thank you to everybody that's ever supported us, everybody that's been here in a live chat or been here on just a non-live video that's supported through Super Chat or supported through Streamlabs or supported through Patreon at one time or another. I mean, we've got a couple people that have done it before. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that's supported us over these last 3 years. And hopefully we go on for another 3, 6, 9. Can't wait to see where it goes. Sure.
Fuck yeah. We got the 972 saying happy anniversary PWU. Tim, do you remember what the first video you did was?
Give me 2 seconds. I think I know what it is. Let me think.
1, 2. So it's been over 2 seconds. So clearly Tim doesn't give a shit.
I believe
about
it was
the
about.
channel.
I believe it was about Sting.
It was about Sting. Oh goodness, we got. Nice of Zeus says I've been here for 2 years now.
Nice,
Thanks,
thank you. So, you had questions in the Discord.
Yeah, so we had a couple questions in the Discord, and I want to take this one because they can kind of go along with the GOAT thing. So this one says, what's, in your opinion, the wrestler or superstar of the year so far? And, you know, we're in August. We just started August today, so happy August. You all made it through July. Congratulations. I'm proud of all of you. So now that we're in August, on August 1st, who has been, you know, the standout, you know, wrestler this year? And it's hard not to go. I mean, there's so many independent names to go with. There's so many breakout names.
Huh.
It's a big loaded question.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's names that not a lot of people know. Like, you can't ignore David Starr. And that question was from Alex Rodriguez as well.
Gotcha. I'm trying to think.
TJ,
I mean,
text in your guys' wrestler of the year. Definitely text it into us. Text it into us. I want to know what you guys think. Someone here says Ronda Rousey. That's an interesting name. I don't think she's been here long enough.
No.
We've got Ospreay, which is another great fucking name.
She's literally had 2 matches.
Off the author's Spain. Tama Tonga, Johnny Gargano. These are all very good names. These are all like super legitimate, like standout year names.
I mean, Kenny
Thinking
Omega.
more of the yeah, I guess capturing that IWGP World Title.
7-star match, and then a 5-star match with Jericho. Or was that a 6-star match? No, it was a 5-star match.
Adam Cole, someone says. Someone from the 616 is Seth Rollins.
I can see why someone would say Adam Cole's been good this year, but just the way he's been used in NXT, I see more Adam Cole promos than I do matches.
Yeah, I guess that's the kind of the quote unquote problem with NXT. You know what I mean? Like, you can only fit so much in NXT where you don't.
4 or 5 matches on the show tonight.
Yeah, they did. They had a
They loaded that show up tonight, so I mean.
Oh, and that's another great name, Star Joe. And you got Juice Robinson as well as another breakout star so far this year.
Oh, breakout star, yeah. I thought you were trying to say who's the best overall, like.
No, not best. I'm changing up the question a bit, Alex. I'm saying like the most, like a big like standout like broke the mold type guy. Tommaso Ciampa. He's having a great year.
Oh yeah.
Came back from injury.
Reinvented himself.
Put on some baller fucking matches. We've got from the 972. Says Shayna Baszler.
She's been okay.
She's been decent. I think she's been kind of underlooked. Velveteen Dream. God, there's so many good names. So let's try to think.
I mean, Jay White has beat Kenny Omega, Okada, and Tanahashi on the same year.
And that's really big, and that's why I think Jay White's gonna have a very, very successful career. We got Seth, someone from the 860s says, ooh, Andrade Cien Almas. Interesting.
No.
Oh, another great one. Even though it's pretty recent and he hasn't had much time to kind of grow, Buddy Murphy in 205 Live.
I mean, he's done great things.
You know what I think? You know what I genuinely think?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Enzo was supposed to be Buddy.
No.
I think what they wanted to do with Enzo is what they're doing with Buddy now. No, hear me out. I bet they hoped that Enzo got a little bit fucking better at wrestling. And they had Enzo come in being this very arrogant guy, being a very, very, like, proud guy. But it didn't really work out for Enzo because, how he goes, how he is as a natural person. But we're forgetting a group.
A group? Like Undisputed Era?
No, the entirety of the Bullet Club. I mean, the dudes are putting on fucking All In.
Yeah, but that's not because they asked wrestler. That's different. That's not matches and promos.
They've also put on some great matches.
Yes, but when you're trying to compare, it's like what other wrestlers are putting on their own show this year.
Okay, fine. So let's transition the who's been a breakout this year to the GOAT. Like when we talk about the GOAT
of all time
pro wrestling. Yeah, so we're talking of all time. So let's start it off with talkers. And when we're talking about talkers,
Ric Flair.
Yeah?
That's what I would say.
Does The Rock beat out Ric Flair?
No.
In talking, not in performance, but in talking.
No.
Really?
I don't think anybody, in my opinion, ain't no better promo than Ric Flair.
Okay.
I'm
gonna make
my opinion.
I'm Jim Cornette, and that's my opinion. But okay, I'm gonna make an argument to you.
Okay.
Just because I like debating.
Sure.
Debating's fun. When it comes down to Ric Flair promos, they're all the same.
Okay, but
they're all the same.
But they're
always I have a lot of money, I have a lot of women, suck my dick.
But they always serve their purpose, and
they did. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. But it just feels like, looking back at those Flair promos, they haven't aged very well because it's just loud noises, money, diamonds, women.
But when he needed to cut those personalized promos, like on Dusty or the Rock and Roll Express or whoever he needed to cut those promos on, when he needed to change it up, he was able to improvise right there on the fly.
Yeah, and I think that's a talent and a skill that not a lot of professional wrestlers have right now.
Exactly.
Is that the timing? They don't have the proper timing.
I mean, he was one of those. For his generation, like if we wanted to go by generations, I don't want to go by generations, but I mean, in his time, it was either him or Dusty. Back there in the late 70s and 80s.
919, we are checking the text line. You're just spamming too much, so I kind of ignored it.
Basically.
All right, so what we got Flair is well, how about we do this?
Okay.
How about we turn the GOAT into the Rushmore? We're going to make a map.
I feel like we've done this before.
I feel like we have as well, but it's always good to revisit it.
Sure.
So let's start your Mount Rushmore. Go.
Ric Flair.
Careful.
4 or 5. Is it 4 or 5? 4?
Mount Rushmore 4.
Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels.
Okay. All right.
I have 2 more that I wanted to just spit out, but I almost need to think for a second. Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, like, boom. Those are the 2 greatest wrestlers of all time.
Spit them out. Spit them out.
I was going to say Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Austin Rock.
Okay.
But then I was like, you might want to put Hogan over Rock. Just because he was one of the...
want to put... Good.
Because Hogan was one of the first guys to help get wrestling to the mainstream outside of just wrestling fans. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But you have to put Austin there because in the most popular era of pro wrestling, he was the most popular guy. He got himself over to everyone.
What about Undertaker? Does Undertaker belong on a Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling?
No.
No, what?
If you could only put 4, no.
I think you know why the Undertaker
he would be like 6th for me.
No. Undertaker's like my number 1 to put on that Mount Rushmore, strictly because
I know what you're gonna say.
Because when it comes to storytelling, there's no one better than him. You know, people love guys like Chris Jericho and people love guys like Kevin Owens because they quote unquote live their character on social media. They act like their character. Undertaker was always his character. You rarely, if ever, saw him out of character. He always kept the dead man persona going, no matter what was happening.
Yeah, well, the Shawn Michaels you saw on TV was the Shawn Michaels you got in real life. At least in the late 90s.
Yeah, but wasn't that Shawn Michaels kind of like a cockhead?
Well, yeah.
You got the 517 saying, so I'm going to read some of the text lines Mount Rushmore. The 517, Hogan, Taker, Flair, Austin. That's a good one. That's a good Rushmore. Ooh, Cena. I don't think this is real at all, but Shawn, Cena, Shane, AJ.
Dash says Bret Hart, Stone Cold, Jericho, Benoit. Can you put Benoit? I guess if you're only thinking wrestling, not personal.
Why would you think personal?
For
what did Benoit ever do that was bad? He was a great wrestler.
What did he do outside of wrestling?
What did he do? Did that Chris Benoit guy do anything bad at all?
July 2007.
See you all in hell. Toots Monda. No. I don't think Toots Monda deserves to be on there.
Who?
Steve Englund. The reason you said Toots Monda is because you saw a What Culture video. That's the truth.
Who the hell is Toots Monda?
He's some fucking carny fuck that helped kayfabe, I think. Just an absolute bullshit. Like you could gloss over that name and you wouldn't give a shit. But Adam Blampier mentioned it once, and so they're all like, "Oh, he's the greatest of all time."
No Lord.
No one knows who the fuck he is. It's all just bandwagon bullshit.
No, because the reason
Hogan, Savage, Austin, Warrior.
Thinking about it again, one of the reasons you got to put Flair as like number one is because. Who doesn't know about that? Who's never heard of Ric Flair? That's at least like 15 years old. Who the hell? Like, you don't even have to be a wrestling fan, and you've done the woo. Kristen McNutt with the $5 super chat donation. My question for Tim and Nick: dream match, Bad Boy Tama Tonga versus Big Dog Roman Reigns. Ain't ever gonna happen because Roman ain't ever gonna leave WWE, and Tonga, he said it before, he doesn't want to go to WWE. I don't think it can ever happen.
I wouldn't want to see it. I just don't think it would be.
I don't think it will ever happen anyways, because Roman leaves WWE, he's going to make like half of what he's making. Tama Tonga comes in, they're either going to censor him to all hell, or he's just going to get stuck in NXT, and by the time he comes to the main roster, if ever, everyone's just going to be over it. Plus, his brother was in WWE, didn't have a good time as Camacho, doesn't want to come back, so yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, never say never, but I don't see it.
I mean, what? Yeah, again, Sergio says Ricky.
Not as the greatest. He was good, but I can name a dozen wrestlers that should be ahead of Ricky the Dragon.
TVP, they both win because they're fooling everybody, and they're gonna make a shit ton of money. I'm just reading the chat here, and a lot of them are a lot of the same names. So, I mean, it's understandable. There's only a handful of guys that you could really pick. Someone from the 734 says, "Hey, Tim and Nick, mine would feature John Cena, Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, and Hulk Hogan." And also, the 734, I showed that to Sean, because I saw you text that the other day. I showed it to Sean, and he thought it was very, very funny. We appreciate it. Ric Flair is I'm rich. What?
7972 says woo.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Spike somebody's headphones there.
I mean,
this person 734 says Ric Flair, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold.
That's a good one.
Another one, 215 says Rock, Austin, Cena, Flair.
Rock, Austin, Cena, Flair.
Now in the chat, Abel Pantoja, I hope I said that right, keeps saying, what about Kenta Kobashi? Kenta Kobashi was really good, but he wasn't really that known outside of Japan. Like, you can't say Kenta Kobashi and just to anybody, and they'd be like, oh, I know, I've heard of him. But you can almost go to anybody that's over the age of 20 years old and say Ric Flair, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, everyone's heard of Ric Flair. I mean... yeah, everyone's heard of Ric Flair. The Wrestling Mount Rushmore, I'll give mine, and then we'll kind of leave the subject a little bit. My wrestling Mount Rushmore would have to be Stone Cold, Flair, Taker, and Rock.
See, I mean, I almost don't want to.
I don't think Hogan goes on there because Hogan was a byproduct of an era of wrestling that was very good, but looking back on it now, the only reason you'd put him on there is because he helped make it mainstream. Nothing about Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
Like,
if there was no Hulk Hogan, there would be no WrestleMania.
No, but you could have had any fucking schmuck in that Hogan role.
No,
Andre would have been a better Hogan than Hogan was.
Because Hogan was just grade A, great at PR and media and all the
Yes, I understand
stuff.
that. And you know who else is fucking John Cena? Those people come and go. They would have found a different Hulk Hogan. It just happened to be that Hulk Hogan.
Christopher McNutt with a $2 super chat donation says, "What about Bruno Sammartino? Bruno was great, but he wasn't a great. Like, he was great. He's probably top 10. But, I mean, he always had good matches and whatnot, but I don't know."
Something about Bruno is like guys like Bruno and Buddy Rogers and even a little bit of Backlund all just felt fable. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Like, it all just felt like, man, that's like, I gotta really imagine this shit.
But could that also be because it was that much before your time?
Well, that's exactly why. There's no way. So there was this thing that I was watching. It was in a Brian Zane. It was Wrestling with Regret video talking about Phantom Championships. And apparently, you could just go to, like, Puerto Rico and be claimed a champion and then come back to the States and they could just say, yeah, he bullshit won the title down there. And that's happened a few times. Like, Bruno Sammartino, a lot of people don't know, he lost during his, like, huge-ass title reign, he lost. But then they nulled and voided. He did a show out in California, and then they nulled and voided. And they said, no, go back to the East Coast with your belt.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Antonio Inoki fucking beat Bob Backlund, but then the president of New Japan gave it up.
Yeah. I mean, that was like, what was it?
Tainted Ways.
Kerry Von Erich? One of them. So the Kerry or Kevin Von Erich beat Ric Flair for the NWA title, and they never mentioned it after the match.
Never. God, never.
Now,
a lot of that stuff's so weird to me.
Now, here's one for you. 217 tweets, or text in. Hey, Tim and Nick, do women count as GOATs of pro wrestling?
Yeah.
I mean, they can. But what woman would you put up there above guys like Stone Cold, The Rock, Ric Flair, Dusty? Who would you put up there, though? Sable, because she helped get more eyes on WWE in the late 90s? You know?
Lita?
Well, what did Lita do to really help grow the business in a way that others weren't? That's what a GOAT has done. A GOAT is somebody that has helped, by being as good as they were, they helped grow the business in a way that others didn't. You know what I mean? That's what I consider a GOAT in pro wrestling. Yeah, you're great at what you do, but you also connected way farther than anybody else connected with, you know? Because it's like, I know people always say, oh, Trish is the greatest of all time. Yeah.
China?
Kind of. That's why I said Sable, too, because they're kind of on the same wavelength.
I don't think...
I mean, you could almost say Sunny.
No.
Because in, what was it, 1996, Sunny was the most searched female in the world on the internet.
I would not put China and Sable in the same wavelength. For God's sakes, there was a moment in time where China was going to become the WWF champion.
No. I meant as far as their quote unquote
pro wrestling.
No, I meant as far as their quote unquote star power and people knowing them outside of wrestling.
No. Okay. For Sable, you mentioned eyes on pro wrestling. China opened up a door to so many women at that time.
True.
Where all the women were treated like sex objects, and they were all just there. You know, the Sable shirt spot, and all of that. You know, China came out there, and she won that IC title, and she gave a really big voice to these women that didn't have it, because when little girls looked at WWF at that time, it was just titties and butts and It's dumb, stupid, boring, awful, god awful. The Attitude
No,
Era
I get what you're saying.
fucking bad. The Attitude Era was just so bad. I mean, if we made a separate Mount Rushmore for women wrestlers, who would you throw on there? I know we said we were going to get away from this, and we will in a second.
Trish.
Dash, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
China.
Okay. Lita.
Hold on. I'm trying to think of overall.
Okay.
Trish,
so.
China. I don't even know if I put China. Trish for sure. Probably Sensational Sherry. Trish, Sherry.
You got one more. You got one more.
That's if I keep Lita or China. Yeah, Trish, Sherry, China. I guess Lita.
I like 817 here. It says Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young,
No.
Sensational Sherry, Whitney Rickner.
If you know what Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young did to make it in wrestling, no. They ain't nowhere close to GOATs. WWE just made them out to seem, in the late 90s and early 2000s, WWE just made it out to seem like they were great people, but they really weren't. Do you know what Fabulous Moolah was doing back in her day? What Mae Young was doing to guys back in her day?
Yeah, we've covered that shit.
I mean, Mae was...
Yeah.
Anyways, basically
You know,
pouring herself out.
To kind of get away from the GOAT of pro wrestling, so we can kind of get a little bit away from that topic, let's talk about a different kind of GOAT. This GOAT is just one man with beautiful hair and a pot smoker's fucking demeanor. This man has the greatest theme song in the fucking Independence. This man is beautiful, and I love him. And this man is Matt Riddle, and he has supposedly signed a 3-year deal. Which can we... I don't know if I can say this.
Yeah.
From what's in the DMs, can we say it?
I mean, it's
said,
all
yeah.
but confirmed.
So we have gotten basic confirmation that Matt Riddle has
signed, but I'll just say this: Matt Riddle has signed, but the constituents, the details of his contract
cannot be shared.
Well, not that. It's just nobody.
No one knows.
No one knows 100%. But the going word is that he signed a 3-year deal. Which, yeah, you're going to say that because that's what WWE signs everybody to, a 3-year deal.
Exactly. Now, Lewis, you get the fuck out of this stream then if you don't care about Matt Riddle. I love Matt Riddle.
So
he's good. He's very energetic. He's got charisma. I really, really love his background. He's got that legitimate UFC background. That
Doug, because he was a UFC fighter.
Motherfucker. So, oh my god, I hate you. You got people like Ronda and Brock who have the UFC background, but I feel like with Riddle, you've just got a completely different breed of person with Matt Riddle.
Because he put the work in. I'm not saying Ronda and Brock didn't, but he was the kind, just like Shayna Baszler. He didn't go out just off of, oh, well, I've got a name coming out of the UFC, let's make me a star. I'm in it, immediately. No, he went out there and he worked the independents. Yeah, he got a WWE tryout less than a year of being in wrestling, but he wasn't the kind that was like, oh, you don't want me? You guys are stupid. No, he was like, all right, you guys want me to do something else to get better? I'll go out there and I'll work everywhere I can to get better. And he has grown tremendously.
Yeah, no, he has grown into an absolute international superstar. He is phenomenal. Thank you for Awesome Gamer. Do you guys think do you think Styles will re-sign with the WWE? Most likely, yeah.
So here's my question. We know he's going to be at TakeOver. Like, that's almost a given.
Yeah.
But is he just in the crowd, or does he pull an Undisputed Era? Do they want to push him right away as like the top or one of the top guys? Because remember last year, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, they were not sitting in the crowd. They came out of the crowd and they jumped the champion.
They did. I don't think they do that again. I mean, if they're gonna do it, it might as well be at Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Right.
They might as well do it. Maybe he doesn't interrupt. Maybe he'll interrupt in that North American title match.
Or he's just sitting in the crowd. I mean, that's what they do like to do. Everybody, like, if you think about it,
He's got to do something. He's got to do something big.
Because if you think about it, Undisputed Era is the first ones to debut like that and not just be sitting in the crowd that I can think of. I mean, since they started doing the sitting in the crowd. Because I know you could say Kevin Owens. You know, we didn't see Kevin Owens until he had that match with Juice. But I mean, since they started doing the sitting in the crowd thing.
Exactly.
And the other thing is like, okay, now, spoiler alert, Keith Lee, he's already made his NXT debut, but it's just in a squash match. And they didn't really do much with him other than the one match at the tapings. Now, they will be doing tapings. I think it's literally the Thursday or Wednesday right after TakeOver. You think they push him hard right away? Or do they do the whole, we'll give him a match, we'll see if he gets over with the crowd, and then we'll go from there?
I don't think they need to worry about if he's going to be over with the crowd. Can I tell you something that confuses me about NXT and main roster?
Sure.
I mean, there's 100% logical answer.
Okay.
But whenever these NXT people come up and they don't have the same following on main as they do in NXT, why the fuck not?
What do you mean?
Like, why don't they have the same following?
Oh, then they did it in NXT?
Yeah.
It's because they get to the main roster and they don't use them as well. You get guys like Bobby Roode, who was an amazing heel champion. He comes to the main roster as a babyface, and he's, what? He got the U.S. title really quickly, lost it, and now he's feuding with Mojo.
Yeah, but
how many guys? How many guys that were pushed very well in NXT have come to the main roster since, let's say,
It's only three. It's only three.
Are you gonna say the Shield?
That were pushed? No. Kevin, Sammy, and what's his name? Fuck. Kevin, Sammy. Come on. Fuck me.
Kevin, Sammy, who?
I don't know. I can't remember the name.
That's why. That means that person don't count. In your argument.
I just had the name.
Because, I mean, Ambrose, if you think about it, he was, he got a good little run in NXT, but before the Shield stuff wasn't really pushed. Huh?
He got big pushes in FCW.
Little bit, but
he was very well received.
But for your argument, no one was watching.
Oh, Balor.
Really? Balor's been used like a goof.
Yeah, but he's the one he still has a decent following.
Because if you think about it, guys that were pushed very well in NXT and then came to the main roster and it's just been whatevers. Former NXT champion Bo Dallas was great in NXT as the champion. Tyler Breeze was never the champion, but he was fighting for the title for a very long while.
Samoa Joe as well.
Well, no, Joe was put in a top spot pretty instantly. I think he's been pushed. I think Joe's been pushed perfectly. He wasn't pushed too hard.
But then he did get hurt, which kind of hurt.
Well, that's what I'm about. That's what I was thinking. I was like, then he was gone for a while with an injury, so I mean, you can't fault him there. But guys that were pushed really big that didn't do nothing, like I said, Bo, Tyler Breeze, like I said.
Would this make sense to say that there's some guys that are just made for NXT?
Oh, yeah.
Like Bo, made for NXT. Tyler Breeze, made for NXT.
Tyson Kidd, that's the one I was thinking of.
Made for NXT.
Like, he did come to the main roster, get put with Cesaro, and they were an amazing tag team. But he was never going to be more than that tag team. In NXT, he could have easily been NXT champion, Tyson Kidd.
Here's the thing. How often do you see, like... How long do you see someone be in a tag team from the minute they're there to the minute they're gone without breaking up?
You mean how often do we see that?
Yeah. When was the last time you saw that?
I mean...
Like a tag team not break up.
I mean, eventually every tag team breaks up except the Usos.
I mean, you could break them up. They broke up the Hardys.
Yeah, but at least the Hardys look different.
Yeah, it's true.
Even when they tried to, quote unquote, split the Bellas from each other, they were still together.
Apollo Crews is an NXT guy forever. Yeah, Tyson Kidd was always a tag team guy. And there's always going to be tag team guys.
Well, see, that's the thing. Tyson Kidd was a tag team guy when he first came in with Davey Boy. Then Davey Boy got released. He kind of went nowhere as a singles. They tried to push him as a singles. Didn't work. He got hurt. He came to NXT, and right away he was... I literally thought he should have been one of the guys to beat Neville for the title, not Sammy. But
do you
he
think
got
Sammy should have ever... Do you think Sammy should have had that title?
Yeah.
Ever? Think so?
I think... Well, I mean, if you look what they did, it was Sammy only got the title to get it to Owens.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say. Should they have just handed it to Owens instead of...
So you think Owens should have just beat Neville instead?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you have the built-in story there with Sammy and Owens.
Yeah, I guess, but it just sucks that has to be for the...
I mean, I think the whole thing was Sammy fought and fought and fought to be the NXT champion, and he kept coming so close and so close, and then when he finally did, he got it, and then his supposed best friend just destroyed him and took the title. Because if you remember, Owens got that title off a referee stoppage.
He did. I do remember that. That was a brutal match.
So I mean,
they broke up Cass and Enzo. Yeah, we all saw how good that was.
Sammy never got pinned or submitted or anything to lose that title.
Did he ever get a rematch?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Who do you think is the most over guy on the main roster right now?
On the main roster?
Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
This podcast is all over the place.
It's all good, though. Sorry. Seth Rollins.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't think anybody gets a bigger pop than Burn It Down!
Most over on main right now.
Seth, you can't deny.
I mean, I'm not denying, but I'm sure there's other names that we're just not thinking of.
What, AJ?
I said on Raw. Oh,
you said main roster.
Joe?
No.
You know who's pretty goddamn over?
Who?
A lot of the women are super over.
No. I mean, Ronda is, but I don't know if you can say a lot.
Charlotte's super over.
What, because the pop she got last night?
Just in general.
She's been gone for a month. She can't be over when most people tweeting about her are, oh my god, why is she in the title picture already? Charlotte Flair's the Roman Reigns of the women's division.
No, she's not. Don't say that. That's not true.
Think about it. Who's always in the title picture? Or when she's not in the title picture, still pushed as the A woman.
What about Braun?
He's over to a degree. I still wouldn't say he's Seth over.
It's only a matter of time for Braun.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's only a matter of time before people start realizing that everything about Braun is the exact same as it is every single fucking week.
You see Braun's new...
Sure, it's fun. What's that?
You see Braun's new house?
Yeah, it did. Looks beautiful.
He freaking lives on a lake. He's got a dock and a huge-ass lake in his backyard. I'm jealous.
You know, well, we're speaking a little bit about the women on the main. Can I tell you how much I don't like the Boston Hug connection?
A rip-off of the Rock and Sock connection.
No, it's not.
The name.
It's not because I don't like it because it's a ripoff. I don't like it because it's just being shilled too much. Like, it happened on Monday, and I've seen at least 25 Twitter posts from both of them. It's like, the Boston Hug connection. Oh my gosh! It's like,
you know what I think?
Fuck off.
So I was listening to Filthy Four Daily, a Wrestling Observer website.
Oh
and
wait, I forgot the name.
Tom Lawler had a very good question to Brian. Are we going to see Carmella retain at SummerSlam? Becky and Charlotte not turn on one another. We get the women's tag team titles at Evolution. They're cross-branded titles, and it is Tea Time versus the Boston Hug Connection.
Stupid.
Stupid.
You
have the WWE 4 Horsewomen going at it for the first ever WWE Tag Team Women's Championships.
I can tell you that it won't happen just because it makes too much sense. But there's another name.
There's got to be a reason they gave them a freaking tag team name. Merch. It's not like Dr. Shelby told them they had to come up with a name as part of their treatment.
Merch.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's still... I don't know.
Kids will buy it.
Well, of course. I'm surprised there's not a shirt out already. Let me go to shop.wwe.com.
I was just about to load up shop.wwe.com.
I mean, I'm really surprised we don't have a shirt already.
I don't know, man. Something about, the WWE merchandise right now. It's just been ass-blasted cancer. It's just bad. It's just not good shirts. And see the new Miz shirt?
I think I did. Yeah.
It's the emoji. It's
the
fucking
Zack
hideous.
Ryder knockoff shirt.
It's hideous.
The Finn new shirt's pretty cool. It's like a Joker style thing.
Who's the best Joker? Non-wrestling. Who's the best Joker?
Heath Ledger.
Okay, good.
I don't like the Lucha House Party shirt though. The
knockoff
knockoff of the old In Your House logo.
Oh goodness. Alex Renee says Tim and Nick Charlotte will win. Then Ronda versus Charlotte at Survivor Series, probably.
Have you seen the new
Tim and Nick for women's tag titles? I wish.
Have you seen the new Braun shirt? The comic book style deal?
Yeah, it looks so dumb.
No, that's actually pretty sick. Anyways. So, I mean, I still think Seth is the most over on the main roster.
What about Elias?
I mean, he is pretty over.
He's an interesting kind of heel.
Yeah.
He's the best translation from NXT to main. Ooh. Interesting.
What?
Guess who's appearing at a big time wrestling show September 22nd?
Who?
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yikes, Valentine.
No, same thing. That's
you call it Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Travis Ray says, why do some people think the Bella twins are the GOAT? Nah, because they're twins.
Because they were pretty girls that were able to get over with, mainstream media, Entertainment Tonight, and Good Morning America, and all that. And so
I want to know, you always got to have a face, to put on your on the morning talk shows and everything.
Why do you think Stephanie's the one that does all the talk shows and not Triple H or Vince?
Exactly. Triple H has done a few.
Yeah, but Stephanie's considered the face of the company.
That's true. Chris and Magnex says, what about Ruby Riott?
What about her?
I think she's good. I think she got stuck with a really, really shitty faction with the Riot Squad. It's just not good.
What would she have done anyways? It's better than her just coming up as herself by herself and being another Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke. Just another girl on the roster. At least with the Riot Squad, she knows she's getting TV time.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think she could be another Dana Brooke or Alicia Fox because she just has such an interesting look to her.
Well, I get that.
You can look at Alicia Fox, you can be like, I've seen 100 of you.
But are they just going to think of her as just another girl?
No.
Like when Vince looks at her, what is he going to say? Oh, man, I need to push this girl. I think he just sees her as another female on the roster.
He's going to say something like, oh, I see tattoos. This girl's a freak show. Let's push her.
But if that's the case, they would have already done it.
Jario Galvez, stop this.
Oh, was he the one that sent in the text message?
It could be, man.
You might have just found your culprit. Anyways. So
weird.
I don't know. I mean,
go ahead.
I don't even know where I was going with that.
You've just put in so many filler words. You got Well,
because I was just trying to think. It's like I really think Ruby's would have just been another girl on the roster if she came up by herself, and with her at least having a quote unquote faction. At least you've got something for her that basically would get her on TV every week. because you see the Riot Squad every Monday.
Sure.
I mean, apart from, if they were just all singles, you probably wouldn't see them every Monday. Or you would, them still, putting them together as a team to go up against Bayley and Sasha, just not called the Riot Squad. It would just be, Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan are teaming up this week, take on Bayley and Sasha. But at least they're the Riot Squad, so it gives them more of a little bit of an identity.
Yeah, I absolutely see where you're coming from there. That makes a lot of sense. Dash, shush.
I just think what hurt them is them doing the whole Absolution thing on Monday and then the Riot Squad thing on Tuesday, basically the exact same.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Absolution not working out because of Paige, and then they just dropped the Riot Squad being a dominant force kind of deal. Because they were just like, we're not doing it on one show, let's not do it on the other.
So someone from the 972, there's no rumor about AJ Lee returning.
She doesn't want to.
Hold on, let me fucking preface this. There's no rumor. They just happened to upload a photo of her. Be like, which person would you like to see back? There is no rumor.
It's called WWE trying to get people talking. Why do you think they did something else to wrestle about Punk? Because they wanted people to start talking. Not because Punk's coming back.
Exactly. They just want they just want clicks and views. It's basically glorified clickbait.
They want those. Oh my God! Did you see what at WWE put on their Twitter and their Instagram? And then they could say, "Look how many times at WWE was mentioned on Twitter today."
Exactly.
Or how many times this picture was retweeted from our account.
Tim, do a hot take.
Hot take.
Someone just said, Ashton Tyler in the chat said, Tim, do a hot take.
I would need a reason.
I'll let you steal my gimmick.
Huh? Paige is supposed to be the leader of both women's factions. No, she wasn't. Paige was never supposed to be the leader of both women's factions. Paige was supposed to lead Absolution, and Ruby Riott was supposed to lead the Riot Squad. Hence, why they called it the Riot Squad and not the Paige Squad.
Exactly. Okay. Moises, this is a great question. I really like talking about this. This is kind of close out the show. At the end of Raw the other night, we saw Brock Lesnar give a great, weird manimal claw thing move. It was uncomfortable. To Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
So, is Heyman going to turn on Brock? What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's just more of Heyman's going to be scared of Brock, so because they're not going to be on next week's show from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
They will be on the final Raw leading in to SummerSlam. And
someone knocking on your door?
Oh no, my foot pushed up against the back of my desk.
Gotcha.
They're gonna be on that final Raw before SummerSlam, and I just think it's gonna be more of a fact of Brock proved his point to Paul that they're not buddies. He works for Brock, and so he's gonna be scared of Brock that whole episode and going into SummerSlam, and you're gonna see vignettes or backstage promos of Brock. What can I get for you? What do you need? You know.
I really like the memes of Brock reading a magazine.
Oh yeah. So that's what I think it was. Also, everybody, what did you think they were chanting at the very end? The crowd. We want who? Roman?
I heard Roman.
Well, somebody that was there messaged on Twitter and said, no, they were not saying we want Roman. The crowd was chanting, we want Strowman. Someone who was actually there.
I don't know, man. I heard Yanny.
Oh,
I
Lord.
heard Yanny. I don't know, man.
So everyone watching on TV heard Yanny. Everyone that was there heard Laurel.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's an interesting thing. That everybody heard. Everybody watching on TV heard we want Roman. But they were actually saying we want Strowman. Because they've made us think that they should be saying we want Roman. So that's what we heard, because that's what we... Anyways.
Take it to the poll. Make a poll of it.
Or you said we're done.
Okay, well, I did kind of want to end it with who do you think would, if Paul Heyman was to turn, who would he go with? Roman?
I mean, he would have to if you're going to do some Survivor Series 2002 all over again, he'd have to go with Roman.
Exactly.
If anybody's like, what are you talking about, Survivor Series 2002? It was Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against The Big Show in Madison Square Garden, Survivor Series. Paul Heyman was there with Brock, and then he turned on Brock, aligned himself with The Big Show, and Big Show became WWE Champion. A lot of people think we may be getting another one of those. Trigger Creepy FS1 says WWE edits it. You can't edit it when it's live. You can't edit the crowd when they're live.
Mm-hmm. And one thing you can't edit is the end of this episode of the PWUnlimited podcast.
I could later.
Anyways. True. But if you guys want to follow me on my social media, you can follow me at PWU_Armstrong on Twitter and twitch.tv/ArmWeek. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited, Facebook at Facebook.com/ProWrestlingULTD, and right here on the YouTube, be sure to check out Sean Roshap, Jimmy Van, and all of our friends over at Fightful.com. They've got all your pro wrestling, MMA, and boxing news, all that you need. Tim, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Timmy Buddy. So that's going to do it for this episode of the PW Unlimited podcast. I mean,
it's kind of all over the place for this episode.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad.
I just had a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about. You good?
I was reading a comment in the chat, but if they're saying what I think they're saying, no, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of work.
It just wouldn't work. So, anyways, Alex Rodriguez says, Nick, start streaming again.
Listen, man. I'm trying. Have a good one, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys Friday for the Fightful Wrestling Weekly. See ya.
Have a good night, guys.